How's it looking back there?
So far.
One egg? Nice. Welcome to Eat Your Backyard. Hope you will subscribe. If you'd like to support the channel, please just use the links in the description to any of the Amazon videos. Oh, listen to these chatty girls. You think we should let them out first? Let's let them out first so they don't have to see us taking their eggs. One. These hens are eager to get out and forage. What do you think? You want to let them back in the back area?
Sure.
Okay, hennies. Well, fluffy butt hut vacated. Hey, girl, beautiful chicken. Look at you. What a beautiful crown you're getting. Super healthy. I love the way these feathers have that outline on her neck. What do we have here? Whoa. Had to switch over to off the Wi-Fi. You're just like a pet, aren't you?
No. Jeez, I like that noises.
They don't seem too concerned. They like it out here when the leaves are wet like this in the morning. It just rained. Lots of bugs scurrying around. Everybody gets in on the action. Now, let's see what these hens produced. We're leaving the golf balls in here just because I don't think the barred rocks have laid yet. Ha ha ha. Hold that. Here we have it. Yeah, oops. Oh no, hold on. I just got water. This camera rolled off the roof. It didn't get on the phone. That's good. Well, the bugs like the water, the electronics don't. So here we have it. Fresh egg, brown egg. We're now getting about 3 of these a day. Look at that. And we learned some things about eggs as a result. You can shut that hen house. You can see that we're keeping the bedding, though, before we shut. Keeping the bedding pretty clean. Really focusing on that now that we're into the egg production phase. But yeah, we're getting about 3 of these a day. We think we have 3 hens that are laying. Yeah, I can roll off this roof. Oh, if you shake these Dracaena, if you bump anything, you get showered. Yeah, Sally jumped up and was eating the flowers off of the croton. Which we got to check to make sure that's okay. But these are the legs. Nice. Looks like this one got scratched a little bit on the bottom, but these little eggs are delicious. And I've been eating them like crazy. I swear they make me feel great after eating them, unlike normal store-bought eggs. That's my claim. Could be a placebo effect, but man, look at this. There you go. There's the comparison. these little golden birds producing eggs, one a day each, pretty much. 3 eggs a day, three birds laying.
Black crowd.
Yeah, just absolutely beautiful.
Just water.
Waddles in the ground. Can't believe. We spend a lot of time appreciating our chickens, being grateful for them because of the abundance that they give us, which results in a really good feeling. Now, the animals have been just an essential component in the permaculture. Yeah, when you put look at their posture. Yeah, and they are just making this soil back here in their run area incredibly rich. You can see I threw these sea grape leaves in here recently, and they're already pecking holes in it and scratching them up and composting it in with everything else. What do we got here? Dust bath? Early morning dust bath? Oh. Yeah, even though these barred rocks are bigger, they seem to be maturing more slowly, which I think they have a little bit longer lifespan than the golden birds that we have.
Feet.
Yeah, we look at these feet, the downward turned feet, and see that as a sign of relaxation in the chickens. Now, Poncy here is a honker. If you pet her, she'll honk like a goose. Give us a honk. Nope.
Hey.
Dirty beak, yeah. Yesterday, I emptied out the bunny manure, which is it. Really, oh gosh, watch out. It is a minefield here. These hens, I swear, they initially, one of the first things they do every morning is come out and drop the bomb. But I utilized the bunny manure yesterday, so I've got bunny manure around most things. And it was great that it rained, because the rain then delivers it to the roots. So already it's starting to disintegrate pretty nicely in here. This moringa tree, which I've been showing a lot on the channel, part of a whole $10 pack of moringa seeds I bought on Amazon. Check the links in the description if you're interested. And I've just been planting moringa trees ever since, and found them to be very easy to grow. And this is less than a year on all these trees, and they're already at this point. Of course, they are somewhat soft-wooded, it seems to me. More like a vegetable than a tree, maybe. Tree vegetable. But I bought these cool stakes. Miracle-Gro stakes. Put a link in the description for those too. But anyway, they're just the 4-foot stakes, and it allows me to tie stuff up. Oh, we got a free-range chicken. Yeah, Poncy. You gonna have a little grass?
Hey, if you want some good grass, I know it's just something I've dealt with.
Yeah, and we found really this is a great way to interact with the chickens, is that we let some of them back in the, either leave them in the coop or put them back in the run, and then bring 1 or 2 chickens out. That way you can kind of manage them. And what I mean is they're going to go for what they love to eat the most. And what does Poncy like to eat the most? Grass, and she'll definitely start munching on that moringa tree.
And meat.
Oh yeah, that's true. She's a lizard hunter as well. I'm really impressed by the coloration on these birds.
Oh,
Beautiful. There's the honk. There's the honk.
she's like telling me to go in my childhood.
Yeah, she wants to go into her childhood chick grounds. which is the bunny run. Yeah, this grass. Look, that is chicken heaven.
I think Penelope's sleeping.
All this grass has seeds on it.
Penelope.
Penelope's sleeping. Penelope. Yeah, we'll get them out to run here shortly too. Well, in their case, hop.
And eat sugar cane and lemongrass.
There you go. You can let one down.
For that hole. She's like, oh.
Now, what we're thinking is an upgrade, and I'd be interested to know in the comments. Oh, that's the sound of an egg being laid, I believe. An egg being laid back in the free range area. We don't want that. Do you think they laid an egg? Just in case they need to lay an egg, they can go back to the egg laying grounds. Yeah. That's kind of cool. Yeah, we don't want those barred rocks to start laying back there. That's for sure. Okay, look, one of the barred rocks is... Sally is heading for the coop, maybe. And we found out that the little golden birds, they'll actually go to the coop. They'll fly over the fence to get in the coop to lay the eggs in their nest box now. She's a little jumpy. She heard that sound. She's starting to get a pretty well-developed crown, too.
And back
Yeah, I wonder when these girls will start laying eggs and if they'll be much bigger than this. Is that look at that thing. Perfect egg. I've actually got to do some egg giveaways here soon, too, because I haven't been eating enough of them. But I've got friends that I know have been asking for some. Sure beats going to Whole Foods to buy natural eggs. Some things I've noticed about these organic, let's say, eggs, is that the shell is incredibly thick. And I researched how to deal with eggs because I really, turns out, didn't know anything about it. And that's my thumb just growing, coming back from the chicken coop building injury. But anyway, these eggs, you don't need to refrigerate the eggs, is what I determined. I didn't realize that because all the eggs I've ever seen at the grocery store were always refrigerated, but I can remember as a kid seeing eggs that weren't refrigerated around the farm and stuff. So I reoriented. As it turns out, yeah, eggs are laid with this kind of protective coating, and as long as you don't wash them, you can keep them out on the counter for about 3 weeks. If you refrigerate them unwashed, that's about 5 weeks. Yeah, to improve our system, I think. We're going to move this door from here over to here so that we can keep this open more and have the chickens be able to get to their coop if they need to lay an egg. But the simple fact is that eggs are porous. If you look very carefully at the egg under a microscope, you see little holes. So there's a protective coating that's on it. If you wash that off, then bacteria can get into the egg, which is why you need to refrigerate it. In the United States, they wash the eggs, so therefore you have to keep them refrigerated. It's a bacteria thing. If you don't wash the coating off, oh, Ponzi hopped over into the back area, the rabbit turd collection area. Yeah, I think those birds are drawn to the rabbit turds for some reason. Hey, Penelope, you enjoying your morning adventure?
Look, my shorts starting to turn
Looks like it.
color from the start there.
Oh, wow. You want to show your thing that we made? So, this is cool. Yeah, we made an Excalibur PVC sword. And,
I've already been whacked in the leg with it.
Connor, you know, so, yeah, you and your buddies like that. Yeah, it's multi-purposed. It's you can use it to, ooh, fig, little tiny mutant fig. Oh, hold on, it takes a second for this gimbal to swing around. Okay, go ahead. Yeah, chickens love figs. Chickens love fruit. Our chickens eat a lot of fruit, a lot of veg. So do our bunnies. Yeah, so that Excalibur sword, as we call it, is an excellent chicken motivator, meaning you don't even have to touch them with it. You just put it in their general area and something, probably the color of it, the shape of it, whatever, but it just moves them right along. You just kind of move it towards them and they move. It's a chicken tender, Jack. Chicken tenders. Yeah, and the reason is we found we have to get good at motivating these birds to get around in a way that doesn't freak them out too much, but uh-oh. Yeah. Works pretty well. And we bought that PVC pipe when we bought the PVC pipe to make this contraption, which I'm quite happy with. That is the system I built for giving them both crushed oyster shell for calcium and grit for their gizzard for digestion, which are two cheap chicken supplements that keep your chickies operating healthily. They're gonna need a lot of calcium for their eggs. Uh-oh, we got a runaway. Blondie. Ooh, I almost dropped this egg. I better put it down before I... Look at this egg.
Did you like egg?
Is that your egg?
Oh, yes, my beautiful egg.
Is Sally up there laying an egg?
No, it's not.
Did she lay an egg back in the chicken area? Back in the free run area? I don't see one. You just see it on the ground. Hopefully. Yeah, go ahead and fasten that one so they can't get out. So yeah, great morning. All systems operational. Already got an egg. Oh, look at that. My little simple water catchment system got water. And that's also a hazard because we don't want chicken drowning in there, getting in there, not being able to get out. So got to build a cover for that or stop catching water. It's just so useful to catch that water because I use it to water all the plants back in here, which I don't have the sprinklers on. Look at you, Penelope. What you doing? What you doing? What is this? You see this? Chicken? You're a white bunny and you're gonna get all dirty. She said, let me live. Let me live. Poncy? I don't know.
It's like my hair.
Yeah. Punk rock chicken. Check out that. Beautiful. Look. No wonder they use barred rocks on all the feed bags as the poster chicken. Just makes you feel satisfied to look at them. Yeah, so great morning. Great morning. I have to remember to put this egg inside. All right. All right, let's not forget, and by the way, having the morning coffee lets you in on my approach. And that is unsweetened cold coffee with soy milk. It tastes like chocolate milk, basically. Caffeinated chocolate milk. Everything's really rocking now. The newest thing is mango tree. Got a patio mango here. Malika mango. Still looking good. I was initially for any visible signs of damage, but nothing yet. Chances are this is going to be a strong one. It's something like the Tommy Atkins, I'm told. A big producer, really resistant to pests, and a high producer of quality fruit. So, oh, there's the chicken. Now this soursop, I planted them in 2 locations. One's doing much better than the other, but this one started to fall down, so I used another one of those stakes to secure that. Kind of did some management of these plants. Hey, chicky. Yeah. Ooh, I almost walked right into the spider web. There's a spider web directly in front of me. You need to get that Excalibur sword to see if she'll eat that spider. Right out of the web. Yeah. This Roselle doing really well. I also staked that up.
She ate it.
She ate the spider right out of the spider web?
Yeah.
Wow. Of course, the bananas are almost there. Achieved something that I would encourage you to try to achieve in your yard, which is 2 stories of bananas. One is the Musa up top, and down below, the Cavendish. So you can have maximum fruit potential on all levels. Sugarcane's also looking quite well. Continue to work on the pineapple, vertical pineapple growing. Check out this sugarcane. By the way, I've decided to start making some of this stuff available on my eBay. So if you want cuttings, you can look there. Let me know in the comments if you're interested. I'll send you the link. Uh-oh. She gets very excited in this area because she wants to go. This is one of their favorite areas to go forage for some reason.
Wait, there's probably a lot of bugs in.
You see, I use the tall. This isn't one of those Miracle-Gro ones. This is a hollow type of stake, which is actually, this one actually broke on the bottom. I wouldn't buy this type again, which is looks like the other type. It's got this weird pattern on it, but it's hollow, so it can bend over, it can fold, and I don't like that. The Miracle-Gro ones are just solid fiberglass. And if you could see back in there, that's a real gem. That's a cutting of a frangipani of a plumeria, the round-leafed kind, which is a fairly rare type. White flowered though, fairly common flower. Not that impressive in its fragrance, but really cool looking. If you're a plumeria frangipani nut like me, you like little things like that. You put Penelope up in the cage? Okay. Now we've been growing these mulberry trees. Look at that, our okra has grown. We have an okra that grew up here. Yeah, this tree fort is becoming like a grow fort, which is okay, you think? Yeah, that's okay.
I want chickens to get out here like, oh, yes.
Yeah, because it's, what?
A lot of yummies.
Yeah, exactly. If we don't put the plants up into the, look at that. If we don't put the plants up high, the chickens just mow them up whenever they get out. Look at that. It might be time to top these. Do you want to top them? I don't know. I kind of feel like we could let it grow taller and then top it once it gets taller. So.
Yeah. Your other one's taller. If we were to top one, we top the one on the side of the house.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, we got the papaya, that Hawaiian papaya, that actually grew in a pot. You'd see behind there. We've got to figure out what to do with that, but I'd like to see if it's male or female. By the way, if you're curious about growing papayas, one thing to know is that they're very easy to grow, and I got lots of videos on how to do that. And by the way, they produce an awesome chop and drop. Look at those little leaves. And the animals love to eat the papaya leaves. It's a vegetable. All that being said, another key element is that only the females produce fruit. So there's male and female papaya plants. Well, yeah, most people don't like to have males because it produces lots of seeds in the fruit. In Florida, if you have papayas, there's always going to be males in the neighborhood, so don't worry, you're going to have seeds. But the point is, more than the seeds in the fruit, is just that why take up the space growing a thing that doesn't give you fruit, is kind of the idea. So before I spend time growing these, and by the way, they get huge. Okay, and I'll give you an example. See that? That is a Hawaiian papaya grown. All these were grown from one papaya I bought at the store like 15 years ago. Here's some more. Oh, it's kind of a lot of bright glare, but look at how tall. Multiple, so very easy to grow, very useful plant. Just one of my favorites, and it's going to be one that I'm going to highlight in the new How to Grow Trees, Fruit Trees in Florida series that I'm planning on doing. By the way, I think a bee is pollinating the flowers. Yeah, you can see the bees flying all around the bananas that are up in this stand. We got bananas set on here too. I'm kind of impressed by that because, you know, these were all transplanted, large transplanted bananas. So that means I devastated their roots, and then they had to regrow again, even at this huge size, and they all came back super lush, super green, super healthy.
The chickens helped them.
The chickens' fertilizer has surely been an aid to these bananas, but so is the bunny manure, and I gave them a lot of vermiculture early on, so they have just a healthy soil system around them, and it's paid off to the point where even these transplanted bananas are producing, you know, I expect it to be a less productive situation, but that one set looks like 4 hands of bananas, if you can see. 4 hands of bananas. So it's less. It's about half the production of a tree that hadn't been
transplanted.
Yeah, transplanted. And you can see the, oh, I love to see the wasps and the bees flying around. The butterflies, all the pollinators are abounding here. And they know where to come. Best yard in the neighborhood, man. I'm not bragging. I'm saying it's the animal's choice. We got birds galore. Jack and I were standing out here. Oh, look, magic. Can you make a leaf levitate?
Yeah, do some spider cobwebs.
Might as well do this. Magic. Yeah, we got so many spiders too. Crab spiders, which turns out chickens love crab spiders. Yeah, so everything starts just fitting together quite naturally with this whole permaculture setup, but we've been trimming this up. Yeah, by the way, I'm interested in maybe starting to experiment with some teas. What do you think of that, Jack? Teas, like, you know, iced tea is what I mean. Yeah, and magic, more hanging leaves. It's incredible how strong spider line is, spider web is. Yeah, I have a feeling that the barred rocks are about ready to start laying. Oh, by the way, here's ladybug. Ooh, the ultimate. Oh. Where is it? Oh, for range lead. Oh, gone. Jason Ladybugs. We love to see the ladybugs. I would almost consider buying a bag of ladybugs. You know, they sell them over at Rockledge Gardens and stuff. We could just go buy a bag of ladybugs to spruce up the health. They're it's like letting a bunch of little tigers go in your yard. They'll eat up all the aphids that they can find. They say one ladybug eats 10 times its weight a day in aphids. They're like literally a tiger. Aphids are like terrified rabbits before the wolf of the ladybug. But okay, so this Montingia tree, which I talk about a lot, and you got to see growing over the last I don't know when did we get this? About, let's say, less than a year ago.
7 months.
7 months ago, yeah, something like that. Doing quite well. Okay, so this one I bought from a seed. bought from a plant at the nursery. Paid a little money for it, paid like $35 for it, which is reasonable, I thought. Healthy, it's been doing quite well. But we also grew some from seed. Now, growing Muntingia trees from seeds, I found to be challenging. And I'm gonna make a video about how to do that, what the tricks are. I tried a lot at this and failed. Crab spider, have to bring the chickens over here and give them a, I can just barely see it, like maybe if I, little tiny crab spider. Yeah, this chicken's left to snatch a crab spider out of the center of its web. Plenty of calcium in that crab spider for the chickens. But anyway, back to the point. Here's the cherry tree, Muntingia tree, Jamaican cherry, just like the one we looked at, except for this one was grown from a seed. Now, the reason I point this out is, look at the difference in vigor. Look at the difference in growing characteristic. Now, the thing is, it's a little bit risky growing these from a seed in the sense that the fruit is not necessarily just like the parent, so whether it grows true to seed, but I'll tell you what, I found that every time I've grown them, oh, look at that wasp.
My chicken, don't touch her.
That was one of those, what we call those itchy wasps. They're the ones that when they sting you, it really just kind of itches. Unlike the bigger black ones that, wow. Yeah, so it just has a much more vigorous growth habit, and this one is already very tall. I'm stoked on it. She ate that. She ate that spider.
Yeah.
How was that? Get her wipe the cobwebs off her beak. Yeah, but plenty of fruit on this one too. I was wondering if it would be, it's vigorous grower, but whether it would be as much of a fruit producer, and it turns out it has been. There's fruit everywhere on this thing. Look at these. But yeah, there's some simple tricks you can do, for sure. There's one thing about these trees that I've noticed is that they don't really like trimming much, and that they don't heal the cuts that you trim very well. So they do better when it's very young branch. So you'll see these branches on the side. I try to get them right away, and I try to cut them fairly close, but leave that skirt around the base of the branch so that it will grow over. And that I found to be effective. What you don't want, and this is a classic thing on Eat Your Backyard, is the nub scenario. You don't want nubs. You don't want little pieces of branch sticking out. It'll grow over much better if you trim it back kind of closer to the main trunk, but you don't want to trim it back so close that it doesn't have this. The key is to leave this little area. There's always like this little bulging area. That is the part that's going to grow back over, I've found. And so therefore, I like to trim these things early, because if I'm trimming it once it gets to be about this size wood, it just takes a lot longer. But the good news is this wood is outstanding for smoking meats, for all kinds of things. Incredibly beautiful bark. White, soft, almost fuzzy bark. Really cool. So, you get to see two examples. One grown from seed, very vigorous, very difficult, high difficulty, but very satisfying to grow a Jamaican cherry tree from a seed. And here's the reason why you might do it, and the vigor. The difference. I've got another one growing over here, probably a lot of glare, but you can see same thing, grown from a seed, very vigorous. And I couldn't be happier about the setup. Now, if you look back on videos from Eat Your Backyard, I would encourage you to do it. You can see the whole journey over the last 10 years of where I've taken this yard. It's gone through all kinds of different phases over the 20 or so years I've been developing this, and this iteration is by far the best, by far. Now, I did acquire, I have been adding aloe, and to me this is just a great thing to have around. Again, it's an edible. Little known fact perhaps about aloe is that it's an edible, meaning that it is quite healthy thing to eat, especially if you have stomach problems, right? Because this is a something that helps your skin to be healthy, and I can vouch for it 100%, because you look at my videos, you can see half the time I'm sunburned. I'm trying to put on enough sunscreen to not get sunburned, but the ability for this aloe, even though it's a little stinky, it's not like the stuff you get at the store, you put that on and it cures the sunburn. It's amazing. Now, for me and everybody in my family, but for stomach problems, it also has a positive effect on the skin lining of your stomach. So, that's something worth considering as an experiment, as a natural experiment. If you have stomach issues, you can grow this stuff so easily. And of course, when it's like this, where it's just heaped up with bunny manure all around, yeah, it's going to be gigantua in no time and super healthy. Now, I'm also adding this roselle all over the place. You see, there's one. Got a few more I need to put in the ground. I tend to grow them up like this one to a certain point and then put them into the ground. Look at the health of this ever-bearing mulberry. Cutting. This is like maybe a month in the pot, a couple months, I don't know, something like that, not that long. And it is ready to go. Now, I've been growing a lot of oh wow, I've never seen a leaf miner in the, that's interesting, leaf miner in the moringa. I don't think I like that too much. The way I deal with leaf miners is you take out the leaves that the leaf miners are in, and typically that solves the problem. You do that with pepper plants and all kinds of things, but if you can get the leaves and just pick them off, that typically will stop the problem. That's about the easiest way to deal with leaf miners, in my opinion. Otherwise, you get into all kinds of chemicals, and I'm not willing to go there. But I've got two types of mulberries growing here. One is this everbearing, which is a champ, and even better fruit-wise is this Persian right here. This cutting is like maybe 2 weeks in the process, but these have been very, very good growers. So yeah, the next thing I need to do is more of this, which is my mango seed deal. I need to stand that one up. I might use one of those fruit stakes that I showed you to stand this one up straight. Those are so useful. But I want to grow some serious mango tree rootstock in order to graft on some of the better varieties and try to grow some more mango trees using grafting. So that's a work in progress, but this is how I get there. One of the cool things is that all the mango seeds that I throw from my Tommy Atkins, which I believe is a mono-embryonic type of seed, so that means if you grow a mango tree from that type of mango seed, you're likely to not have the same kind of fruit, and that, to me, that's a real bummer when you're talking about a mango tree. But there are polyembryonic types of mango trees that you can seeds. One's an Namdok Mai, and there are others that you can grow, actually multiple plants from one seed, but they will grow true. So I may try that too, try to get some seeds of polyembryonic mangoes next year. But the way I want to do it is to get it from somebody who has an Namdok Mai, get it straight from the tree, etc., so I know it's the right one. Because growing a mango tree is a fair amount of commitment. They get so big if there are certain kinds, and they grow so quickly. Look at this Hayden, my goodness, gigantua, almost too big. Now, I wouldn't probably have picked this mango tree if I were to do it now, just because even though I love the fruit, it's just my favorite fruit, the Hayden mango tree, my favorite mango. I planted this thing, but I would have also kept it much more trimmed low, and I let this one get big, and that is what it is. I'm not letting that happen with my Tommy Atkins. I'm not going to let that happen with the Malacca or the additional mango trees, which I am planning on purchasing. We're going to go more fruit trees, and keep up on the trimming of them as well, especially the mangoes, to keep them low. We don't want skyscraping mangoes. We want lots of branches and lots of fruit production areas. That's what you need. And the real key to the mango, I'm throwing out all kinds of miscellaneous tips from my experience, but real key is to, like this Tommy Atkins right here, is to trim them immediately after they've completed fruiting, and then they'll vigorously reestablish new growth, like faster than you can imagine. I mean, they just grow so fast. Cautionary note about mangoes: they do have a chemical on their leaves and on the fruit that I think it's called urushiol, which is the same stuff in poison ivy, which makes people break out. So, you know, if you're sensitive to poison ivy, you're probably going to be sensitive to mangoes as well. I'm talking about the sap. So just, you know, be careful. My daughter actually is sensitive to it. And but she can eat the mango fruit itself, but she can't touch the skin of the fruit. So, you know, you just got to know. Use appropriate precautions. So yeah, what a beautiful day. The yard always looks great after it's had a drink of water. And you might see here, that, look, check it out. This is a good thing to address here. The trade between grass and everything else you're doing. You can see the obvious lines of the area where there aren't grass. And that's a trade, meaning that you can have both, but you have to depart from these paradigms of having perfect grass, or to me, the right solution would not be to have all grass or all kind of natural. It would be to have a mix, just like what is actually natural, where you do have grassy areas in nature, and you do have covered over shady areas that don't have the grasses. So I do both, and the reason we like to have this here is because we're getting ready to watch that Buccaneers football game on Sunday, and this is our football field. So we throw that football on the commercial breaks rather than watch those commercials, and so we need this, and it's awesome. And by the way, you know, I had noticed there's some kind of stigma with having lawns, traditional lawns like this, and it's mostly associated with how people typically get their lawns to look green, and it's through lots of artificial fertilizers. Now, I don't put any of those things on here anymore. I am reformed in that I don't need to. Why would I waste money on granular fertilizers that have all kinds of other crap in it that I don't want, like pesticides and herbicides, and no way will I put any of that on here. Why? You saw that chicken eating this grass. That chicken lays that egg goes in me. So yeah, no thank you. No thank you. So I just fertilize my whole yard with bunny turds, and it is 1,000 times better than any granular fertilizer you're gonna get at the store. So, you know, one message for today: the key to abundance is the animal component. All the permaculture people, one of them, talk about the animal component. It is critically important to have the animal component in your yard. Without it, you can import it, you know, that's one option, but why the heck wouldn't you just if you could, just have it right in the yard? Look at how easy it is here. Okay, I'm gonna put the camera down, I'm gonna be right back. Get the chicken cam in the meantime. All right, and we're back. Wonder how those little chickies did. What do the chickens do when I'm not around? I also wonder if they start to make noises when they see me. This is a nice little rhythm for these chickens to be in. They get some time. They were back in the free range area, area. And now they can kind of chill out. Got a little of the stress out, got to spread their wings. And now it's time to make those eggs. We found this is when they typically lay their eggs. So get to it, little chickie-doos. Get to it. Oh, also, check this out. That's another ever-bearing mulberry. See that? This is likely going to grow, especially now that it's got all of the water it needed. Put one there, put one there. I'm adding the ever-bearing mulberry because it's such a great kind of more dwarf tree. It's such a high producer. It's so useful. Everything it drops, the animals will eat. So I'm adding more and more. I've gone through these phases, but I'm really committing. You can see here some that I've grown from cuttings. We're going to make just a kind of mulberry wall here. And I'll share another innovation I'm thinking of. I'd be interested in, if you've watched this point in the video, your opinion. And that is, we're thinking about making a tunnel, 1 foot by 1 foot tunnel, that connects from this chicken cage to the bunny run. And of course I'd have to modify this, but a cage, tunnel, and then build a step over it that these chickie-doos can use if we want to let them into this area to free range. Because although they have that free range area in the back where they forage for bugs readily, it doesn't have a lot of healthy veg for them to eat. However, this is about as healthy veg as it gets, and by that I mean it's got all the things they love the most, all the types of grasses I see them prefer, the types of weeds all built in there, all of it seeding, nice and thick. This area is unwatered by me other than through the rain catchment system. What I mean is it's not sprinkled, it's not affected by our sprinkler system, but still it has this level of growth. Looking really good. The bunnies love it. The chickens love it. It took a little while to develop this area. This was a very barren, dry, sparse area just 6 months ago. Now it's lush. I'm sure there's a worm component building up under the soil here certainly too, because of all the manure that's being dropped here. What a cool situation. My dilapidated chicken roosting barn here. Yeah, one more thing before we'll just walk over here. And that is to show you this little experimentation area once again, but some special notes. Look at how much we packed in edibility here in this small area. Got some things growing in that pot there. Bent that pot in. Okay, so just in this small area, I'm experimenting with how much edible stuff I can get to exist healthily together. Like a starfruit tree, like a moringa tree, like the tamarind, the roselle, the aloe, the dragon fruit. All of these things are packed in here and doing well. You can see the dragon fruit's even starting to look really good. You can tell when the dragon fruit starts to really just jump up. We've got dragon fruit growing up the yucca, which is also very edible. So I'm going to see how this all works out, but I expect it to work out quite well. One of the things I'll probably do is add some wood chips in here that I get from outside. That would be a good resource I should probably trade for and into next year for mangoes and stuff, if I can find people that can have quality wood chips around, like oak or even pine or whatever, but something local and good that I know isn't going to be full of all kinds of funguses and stuff like you would typically get from like a county dump of wood chips. So I do need that wood chip element. I just don't want to get the diseases that come in with wood chips of ill repute, let's say. So stay tuned for this new series on growing fruit trees. It's going to be fantastic. We're going to be talking about growing all these things. And if you saw my most recent video about adding micronutrients to your yard, you could see some of the new techniques we're going to use to make the videos fun. And check it out. So anyway, I appreciate you joining me today on this beautiful morning. I hope you have a fantastic day. I hope maybe you will incorporate some of these things into your setup. And my hope is you will learn maybe a few things that will help you avoid some of the learning curve I've had to go through over the years so that you can get right into this. Thanks for watching. Eat Your Backyard. Have a fantastic day.